Let's get one thing straight. There is nothing more gut-wrenching than the moment you think you've finally connected with her, only for her to suddenly turn into a block of ice. You're vibing, things are getting deep, you can feel the tension, and then, out of nowhere, she hits the brakes. She stops texting back. She gets busy. She starts picking fights over nothing. It feels like a slap in the face because you know, deep down, she's into you. You've seen the way she looks at you. You've felt the chemistry. So why the hell is she pushing you away right when things are getting good? It makes zero sense on the surface, but if you want to keep her, you have to understand that this isn't about you. It's about the war she's fighting inside her own head. Most guys panic here. They chase, they beg, they ask, "What did I do wrong?" And they end up killing the attraction for good. If you want to be the man who actually handles this, the man she can't help but come back to, you need to stay grounded. Before we dive into the deep psychological reasons why this happens, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. If you're serious about mastering your frame and understanding the hidden layers of female psychology, you need to be here every time we drop a truth bomb like this. The first thing you have to realize is that a woman's fear of losing control is a powerful, primal force. When she starts falling for you, I mean really falling, she loses her emotional grip. For a modern woman, especially one who's been hurt before, that loss of control feels like a death sentence. She's built a life where she's independent, where she's safe, and suddenly you come along and threaten all of that. She starts thinking about you when she doesn't want to. She starts caring about your opinion more than her own. That level of vulnerability is terrifying. So, her brain goes into survival mode. It tells her, push him away before he has the power to destroy you. She's not being crazy or manipulative, she's panicking. She's testing her own safety by seeing if she can distance herself from the feelings. If you chase her during this phase, you're just confirming her fear. You're showing her that you're just as unstable as the emotions she's trying to escape. You're becoming a part of the chaos, instead of the anchor she needs to hold on to. Then there's the shit test that most men fail within the first 5 minutes. Sometimes, she pushes you away simply to see what you're made of. She wants to know if you're a man who can handle a storm, or if you're a guy who's going to crumble the moment things get a little chilly. She'll act cold, she'll cancel a date last minute, or she'll give you one-word answers just to see if you'll lose your cool. Are you going to blow up her phone? Are you going to get emotional and start demanding an explanation? Or are you going to stay in your lane, keep living your life, and show her that your happiness doesn't depend on her validation? This is where respect is earned. A woman cannot truly love a man she doesn't respect, and she cannot respect a man she can easily shake. When she pushes, she's subconsciously praying that you won't move. She wants to feel the solid wall of your character. If you fold, you're just another nice guy who can't lead her anywhere. We also have to talk about the ghosts of her past. Every woman you meet is carrying a backpack full of scars from the guys who lied, cheated, or walked out when she needed them most. When she starts to feel a real connection with you, those old wounds start to throb. Her brain starts playing a highlight reel of every time she got burned. She thinks, this feels too good to be true, so it probably is. She starts looking for red flags that aren't even there. She pushes you away because she's trying to beat you to the punch. She figures if she pushes you away now, it won't hurt as much as if you leave her later. It's a self-sabotage mechanism rooted in trauma. If you take this personally and get angry, you're just another guy proving that men are volatile. You heal this by being consistent, not by being a savior, but by being the one constant, grounded force that doesn't react to her triggers. You let her retreat, you stay firm in who you are, and you let her realize on her own that you aren't the guy who hurt her. There's also the fear of being truly seen. Most women spend their lives wearing a mask of perfection, the perfect social media life, the cool girl persona, the polished professional. But the closer she gets to you, the more that mask starts to slip. She's afraid that if you see the real her, the messy, insecure, emotional version, you'll decide she's not worth the effort, so she pushes you away to protect her secret. She'd rather you leave because she acted distant than have you leave because you saw her flaws. It's an intimacy block. She wants you most in the moments when she feels the most exposed, but that's exactly when her defense mechanisms are the highest. A high-value man recognizes this. He doesn't judge the mess. He holds his frame and shows her through his actions that he's strong enough to handle all of her, not just the polished version. Lastly, you have to understand the chasing trap. Many women, especially those used to high-quality attention, will subconsciously pull back just to see if you'll chase. It's a way of measuring your level of desperation. If you chase her, you're signaling that you think she's more valuable than you are. You're putting her on a pedestal, and the view from up there is lonely and unattractive. The moment you start begging for her time, you lose your mystery and your power. A grounded man doesn't chase. He attracts. If she pulls back, he gives her the space she's asking for. He doesn't play games, he just keeps moving forward. When she sees that her withdrawal doesn't faze you, that you're still the same solid, purposeful man whether she's there or not, that's when the attraction kicks back into overdrive. She starts wondering why you aren't chasing. She starts worrying that she might lose you. And that's the moment she stops pushing and starts pulling you closer than ever before. Your power isn't in how hard you pursue her. It's in how unshakable you are when she tries to move you. Stay grounded, stay focused, and never let a temporary storm shake your foundation. You're sitting there, staring at a screen that hasn't lit up in 3 days, wondering how the hell a perfect vibe turned into a cold shoulder. It's eating you alive, isn't it? One night you're the man of her dreams, and the next, you're treated like a stranger she's trying to avoid at the grocery store. It's enough to make any sane man want to lose his mind, to reach out and demand to know what changed. But let me tell you something straight up. The moment you break and send that "we need to talk" text, you've already lost. You're playing right into the hands of a psychological storm you aren't prepared for. This is where the boys get separated from the men. When she pushes you away, she isn't just testing your patience. She's testing your very soul. She's looking to see if you're a king who can hold his throne in the middle of a rebellion or a servant who's going to beg for a seat at the table. If you're ready to stop being the guy who gets played and start being the man who commands the room without saying a single word, you need to stay locked in. And before we go deeper into this mental battlefield, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We're building a tribe of men who don't just deal with women, but understand them at a level most guys will never reach. Don't miss out on the intel you need to keep your frame solid. Let's get real about the rubber band effect. In female psychology, intimacy and distance are two sides of the same coin. When a woman gets close to you, spiritually, emotionally, physically, the tension pulls tight. For a lot of women, especially those with an avoidant attachment style, that tension feels like a trap. Their instinct isn't to lean in. It's to snap back to where they feel safe and unthreatened. They need to go back to their own corner to see if they still exist without you. Most men see this snap back and panic. They think they need to pull the rubber band back toward them. But what happens when you pull both ends of a rubber band? It snaps and breaks. If she pulls back, you have to let go. You have to show her that your world doesn't stop turning just because she decided to take a breather. If you chase her into that space, you aren't showing love. You're showing a lack of self-respect. You're telling her that you have nothing better to do than wait for her to acknowledge you. That is the ultimate attraction killer. A high-value man knows that silence is a language, and right now, he's fluent in it. He lets her feel the void of his absence until the fear of losing him becomes greater than the fear of being close to him. Then there's the damsel in distress trap that she might be subconsciously setting. Sometimes a woman will act distant or broken just to see if you'll try to fix her. She's looking for a hero, but not the kind you think. She doesn't want a guy who's going to coddle her and tell her everything is okay while he's shaking in his boots. She wants a man who is so secure in his own mission that her emotional turbulence doesn't even register on his radar. When she pushes you away and acts like the world is ending, and you respond by staying focused on your gym goals, your business, and your own peace of mind, it signals a level of strength that is rare in the modern world. You aren't being mean, you're being a mountain. A mountain doesn't move because the wind blows. When she realizes she can't blow you over with her moods, she'll stop trying to fight the wind and start looking for shelter in your strength. But you can only provide that shelter if you aren't caught up in the storm yourself. We also have to dive into the validation junkie cycle. In a world of infinite likes and thirsty DMs, some women use the push-away as a way to get a quick hit of validation. They want to see you sweat. They want to see you triple text. They want to feel the power of knowing they can affect your mood with a single unread message. If you give in to that, you're just another fan in her comment section. You've lost your status as a leader and become a consumer of her attention. You break this cycle by being a mystery she can't solve. When she expects you to be hurt, be indifferent. When she expects you to be angry, be calm. When she expects you to chase, be nowhere to be found. This isn't about playing games. It's about protecting your energy. You only give your time and attention to those who value it. If she's pushing you away, she's explicitly telling you she doesn't value your presence right now. So give her exactly what she's asking for: your absence. It's the loudest statement you can ever make. Finally, you have to master the art of the check-in versus the beg-in. There's a massive difference between a man who checks in from a place of abundance and a man who begs for a response from a place of scarcity. If you do eventually reach out after she's been distant, it shouldn't be about the relationship or her behavior. It should be about you and your life. It's a "I'm doing something cool, thought of you" vibe, not a "where have you been, I'm lonely" vibe. But even that is a move you only make when your frame is so solid that her response, or lack thereof, doesn't change your heart rate. You have to reach a point where you truly, deeply realize that there are 4 billion women on this planet and your value isn't tied to any one of them. When you carry that "I can live without you" energy, it radiates off you like a heat wave. She can feel it through the phone. She can feel it when she sees your stories of you out with your boys, leveling up and living your best life without her. That is the only thing that will make her regret pushing you. She wanted to see if you'd crumble, and instead, she saw you thrive. That's when the push turns into a pull, and suddenly, she's the one trying to figure out how to get back into your world. Stay focused on your mission, keep your head in the game, and never let a woman's confusion become your chaos. You have to realize that her pushing you away is the universe's way of asking you one simple question: who are you when everything is stripped away? Most guys are terrified of the silence. They're terrified of the idea that she might actually walk out that door and never look back. But that fear is exactly what keeps you trapped in a cycle of being the option instead of the priority. When you finally stop reacting to her every mood swing and start acting like the man you were born to be, the entire dynamic shifts. You aren't just a guy she's dating anymore. You become a landmark. You become the one thing in her chaotic world that doesn't change. And if you're serious about being that man, the one who stays solid while everyone else is crumbling, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now. We aren't here to give you pickup lines. We're here to rebuild your foundation so that no woman and no situation can ever knock you off your path again. You have to accept the cold, hard truth. The pain of her silence is temporary, but the regret of losing your dignity is forever. If you break your frame now, if you beg for her attention just to stop the stinging in your chest, you're telling her that you can be bought. You're telling her that your self-respect has a price tag, and it's as cheap as a "hey" text or a heart emoji. A man who respects himself cannot be manipulated by distance. When she pushes, you don't fight back. You just stand still. You stay focused on your grind, your health, and your vision. You show her that while you wanted her in your life, you sure as hell don't need her to function. This isn't about being a tough guy or acting like you don't have feelings. It's about being a man of substance who knows his time is the most valuable currency he has. If she chooses to waste it by playing games or letting her past traumas dictate her future, that is her loss, not yours. Think about the legacy you're building. Do you want to be remembered as the guy who spent his prime years chasing a woman who couldn't make up her mind? Or do you want to be the man who built an empire, a body, and a mind so sharp that women are fighting for a chance to just be in your orbit? When you stop focusing on her push and start focusing on your pull, everything changes. The endgame isn't about winning her back. It's about winning yourself back. It's about reaching a level of maturity where you realize that if she's the right woman, your strength will eventually lead her home. And if she isn't, your strength will lead you to someone who actually deserves to be there. You have to be willing to lose her to keep yourself. That is the ultimate power move. So the next time she goes cold, the next time the texts stop and the excuses start, don't trip. Don't go looking for answers in a place that's only offering confusion. Walk back to your throne. Pick up your tools. Keep building. When she looks up from her own mess and sees you miles ahead, unbothered and thriving, she'll realize she didn't just push you away. She pushed herself out of the best thing that ever happened to her. Whether she comes back or not is irrelevant because you've already won. You've mastered your emotions, you've secured your frame, and you've become the kind of man that the world, and the right woman, can never ignore. Stay dangerous, stay focused, and never let a temporary storm shake your foundation. This is your life, own it.